Opening in theaters this week from Universal Pictures is the romantic comedy Ticket to Paradise, starring George Clooney and Julia Roberts. There's a certain charm to romantic comedies from the 90s, but studios have largely moved away from those sorts of films. Ticket to Paradise is an attempt to return to those days where two big stars would share the screen and trade romantic banter for the inevitable conclusion. While there are a few amusing moments here and there, the film does feel a little too routine, and somewhat overstays its welcome. The effort at creating a throwback to the works of Nora Ephron and Nancy Meyers is admirable at least. If there's someone who manages to shine in this movie, it's George Clooney. He can always be counted on to provide plenty of charm and deliver some great comedic line readings. Even though he's not given the wittiest material here, Clooney knows exactly how to play this character, and any laughs that occur are because of him. Julia Roberts is fine as his ex-wife, but she can only take the line she's given as far as she can. What's particularly disappointing about the film is its use of Caitlin Dever. As recently shown with Rosalind, she has great comedic skills, but most of her screen time is spent talking about how much she loves her fiancé. The early scenes of Ticket to Paradise do have a sparkle to them, especially a moment on an airplane. The idea of the lead characters trying to sabotage their daughter's wedding is an amusing setup and leads to a few funny bits as they try to figure out their plan. Billie Lourd also has a solid arc as Dever's best friend, with the film only featuring her when absolutely necessary. It also makes this sort of a Booksmart reunion, which is neat. Director Al Parker and his team do a good job of photographing Australia, standing in for Bali, so it's at least a very pleasing film to look at. At a certain point, though, the movie begins to go through the motions. There's nothing wrong with a rom-com like this being predictable, as part of the joy comes from seeing the actors interact rather than expecting some mind-blowing plot twist. Yet the plot feels dragged out, and the dialogue becomes stale as we're treated to frequent obvious speeches about the meaning of love. The film just has trouble sustaining its runtime, especially when we enter the third act and it limps its way towards the expected conclusion. Ticket to Paradise is absolutely the definition of an airplane movie. It's watchable enough and with a decent amount of lightweight moments, but there's nothing about it that will stick with you in any way. George Clooney does a lot of the heavy lifting to make the scenes entertaining, as he continues to prove himself easily one of the most charismatic actors working today, and maybe the closest thing to a modern Cary Grant. It's a shame the film as a whole can't quite stick the landing as well as the 90s romantic comedies it's trying to recapture the charm of, although it does bring in one fun ingredient by including a blooper reel during the end credits, so that's something we don't see too often in modern cinema.